Doom's pistol is a very underwhelming weapon. Between its low rate of fire, low damage output, and piddling sound effect, it serves its role perfectly of making the Marine feel helpless at the very beginning of most Doom campaigns. Of course, the lameness of the pistol is by design. It's meant to be the bare minimum for self-defense until you can find something better, which forces a sense of urgency that I tend to really enjoy. With that said, after playing countless thousands of Doom maps, it's understandable that one might get a little sick of it. Sure, it plays its role well, and I can't speak for others, but after a while, I just want to start with something that has a tad more power. For this reason, and most of the custom WADs I've made or have been heavily involved with, I've replaced it or at the very least buffed it so that it feels more satisfying to use and doesn't leave the player practically helpless. I'm going to show the various ways I've implemented pistol buffs to possibly give other modders some ideas on how to make the pistol feel less useless while still retaining its role as the starter weapon that makes you yearn for something tougher. I've been mapping since 2001, but the oldest presentable campaign by me is the UAC Rebellion from 2009. I went with the most obvious way to give the pistol a little more power, speed it up, and give it a fresh new sound effect that sounds less wimpy. Even though each pellet still does the same amount of damage, the new sound effect makes it feel more powerful, and that feeling is justified by the slightly higher rate of fire. Just a couple small tweaks and we already have a better pistol. I took a similar approach for my 2016 WAD Shovelware Adventure, my 2019 WAD Ray Mohawk's Manic Monday, and a current work in progress called Bourgeois Deathmatch, which all use the unused rifle sprite from the 0.5 version of Alpha Doom. For the 2018 community project Doomed in Space, the speed is cranked even faster to help deal with the stronger enemies, who are also too intelligent to infight one another. I decided to put a different spin on this idea for once with Rowdy Rudy's Revenge from 2018. The rate of fire is basically the same as the normal pistol, but it fires 2 bullets in quick succession rather than just 1. They're also perfectly accurate every time, making this a sniper rifle of sorts. It uses the even older Alpha Doom 0.4 rifle sprite, which also has an awesome bayonet to replace the fist. Another simple way to make the pistol feel more tough is to turn it into a full-blown machine gun. In Revenge of the 90s from 2012 and Power Guns from 2017, I decided to make use of the original machine gun sprite featured in the 0.5 Alpha Doom build. Starting with the weapon equivalent to the chain gun is a great way to ensure that slot 2 is still useful even after you've found everything else. Of course, when doing this, it'll be necessary to make the chain gun even more powerful, or perhaps replace it with a new weapon altogether. I used this machine gun sprite yet again in the 2019 and 2020 community project Rowdy Rudy 2, Power Trip, but I opted to slow it down just a touch while adding the pinpoint precision to remain consistent with the first Rowdy Rudy. I think the slight reduction in speed was a great way to balance it considering how accurate it is. Also, just for shits and giggles, I made an even more powerful version of Power Guns in 2019 that makes the machine gun a drill that cuts through low HP grunts like butter. This mod is aptly titled Superpower Guns. These are all examples that I've used in my own WADs, but others have taken different approaches which I thought also felt really good in game. In co-op build, an old 2004 WAD by the late Doom legend Toke, the pistol is replaced with a burst fire rifle that has a long cooldown frame. It also uses the familiar Alpha Doom 0.5 rifle sprite. This is an interesting spin on the pistol and is largely what inspired the burst fire rifle found in the first Rowdy Rudy. Immoral Conduct, a 2002 mod by Corey Whittle, actually features guns akimbo, complete with a badass reload animation whenever they're equipped. The new sound effect for the pistol's firing is beefy. Maybe even a bit too beefy, but nevertheless the satisfaction factor is very high with these ones. In Struggle, Antaresian Legacy from 2018, the pistol has a similar burst fire action but at a much higher speed and with a super satisfying and crunchy sound effect. This one feels downright awesome to use, as do most of the weapons in Antaresian Legacy. An interesting spin on this is to start the player with a projectile weapon rather than a hit scan weapon. In the 2004 WAD Bomb X by Zazer, the player starts with this sweet plasma pistol thing. I'm sure this isn't the only WAD to start the player out with a non-hit scan weapon, but it's an awesome twist on Doom's arsenal that is extremely rare, and I would personally like to see more often. This is just a handful of ways that you can make the pistol feel more satisfying in your upcoming WAD or mod. In the description, I'll have not only links to all the WADs mentioned here, but also links to DeHackEd and Decorate tutorials so that you can make stuff like this yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video, take care, and we'll see you again soon.